Vicki, you were saying earlier that you wear your pin, your Garden State Equality pin, to church.
Yes.
What is the reception of your church friends to what you're doing?
Actually, nobody has confronted me, and the reason that I wear my pin to church, I'm Catholic. I was very proud, and I was going around saying to all my LGBT friends that, oh, my church is so liberal, nobody's bothered, you know, we're very open. I know there's a lot of people that are openly gay there, and they're always welcome. And then all of a sudden, when there was pressure from the Pope, the pastor made an announcement that there was a petition at the back of the church, and anybody could sign it to make sure there's no dissolution of marriage. So I was very upset, and I started digging through my purse, because I always had my pins in my purse, and I immediately put it on. And my daughter said, why are you so upset? And I said, I can't believe that he's endorsing this. And she said, well, the gay guy on the altar serving is not as upset as you are, Mom. But I felt very strongly after that. So now, whenever I go to church, I make sure I wear my Garden State Equality pin. And we used to always be late. So then I was like, oh, I better go in on time. So I was making an effort to get there on time and go down the front aisle and say hello to all the greeters, proudly wearing my pin. And so I would think that in the Asian community, it is a little bit harder because, you know, sex in general is not talked about, and feelings are not talked about, you know, openly. And I know that it's an Asian thing that we kind of like go around. You don't really say no. You give you talk about something else, but you never really come out directly. The reason that LGBT rights really strikes a chord with me is because as an Asian woman who grew up in the 60s and 70s, I've felt the pain of discrimination. I lived in Chinatown for 3 years, and then my parents, you know, moved us out to Clifton, New Jersey. Clifton, New Jersey, where there were 5 Chinese families, and we were related to 3 of them. Okay? I went to school. I was the only Asian person in my school. I went to a Catholic school 12 years. So grammar school to high school, I was the only Asian person. When we moved to Clifton, I remember going shopping with my mom to a local department store that's not even, you know, there anymore, where they refused to wait on us just because we're Asian. I remember being in, I think, 1st grade, playing with, you know, friends. It either was kindergarten or 1st grade, and I was very friendly with an Italian boy. And he went home and he said, oh, I'm going to marry Vicki. And his mom said, no, you can't marry her because we're Italian and she's Chinese. You can't. And the next day he came in and he took a scissor and he cut my uniform skirt. I mean, I remember what it was like, and firsthand, to be discriminated against, to be called all kinds of racial slurs, and then people who thought they were being cool and they were friendly to me, but still making those racial remarks, and it wasn't pleasant. And so I feel, and so to me, it just seemed natural for me to support LGBT rights, because to me, your question of your sexuality is just, it's just like handedness. You're right-handed, you're left-handed. To me, it's just another component of what you're made of. And it's nature, not nurture. So it just seemed very natural for me to support. Also, I married an Irishman. Experienced a lot of discrimination being a mixed race couple. Now my daughter, luckily she's living in a different time. She didn't even realize that Asians were discriminated against and that mixed marriages were, not the norm. She's learning that in history, and she's saying, I can't believe it. And she hears me talk about, things that happen, and she just can't fathom it. It's just very strange to her. So that's why I got involved. I feel very strongly that nobody should be discriminated against.